Hey, this is Suzanne Mosley with Usborne Books and More, and I wanted to share with you just a quick how-to video of doing a book drive. So there's a million organizations that you can do a book drive for. You can do a children's hospital, you can do a domestic violence shelter, you can do crisis pregnancy center, you can do any nonprofit that would benefit from having Usborne books. So I did one this summer and just wanted to walk you through the step-by-step process that I used to do that. So the first step was I picked an organization. So I picked the organization. My friend has a nonprofit that helps. She has 45 kids in her program at a low-income school where she grew up, and she started the nonprofit in memory of her brother who passed away from pediatric cancer. So I talked with her, kind of explained the benefits to her that by doing a book drive, the kids in her program would get some new books to start off the school year. She was totally game. She was so excited. It was just really, really cool. She was excited. I was excited. This is one of the awesome things that we can do with our business is bless others with these books. So we were pumped up. So So she was on board, and then kind of the next step is to decide on a date. So when do you want to do your book drive? And I recommend not keeping it open very, very long. Because if you keep it open forever and ever and ever, people will think that they have enough time to come back and do it later, and then they never come back. So what I did, this was for back to school. So we did the book drive the last week in July. So I created a Facebook event through my business page and started it on Monday, launched it on Monday, and the book drive ended Friday at noon. So kind of what I did, it was kind of like a Facebook party. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I did posts about the organization. I explained how the book drive worked, and I explained how they could participate in the book drive. And this is kind of the amazing thing, thanks to Carrie Thorne, who is not on my team, but an amazing team leader that is a book drive guru. These are the three things that I would really encourage you to think about and to set up for your book drive. Now, there's a million different ways to do it, but Carrie told me this approach, and kind of it resonated with what I was kind of already thinking, and I'm like, oh my goodness, perfect. So sometimes people do book drives and they just accept donations. Other times they just encourage people to buy books off a wish list. But brilliant, what Carrie recommended, and when I did it, it was amazing. So she solicits donations. So what I did, the first thing was I set up where I could accept donations, a youcaring.com site for this book drive. The second thing is I created a wish list of books that would work well for the book drive. And then the third thing is to set up an e-fair for the organization. And so I gave people three ways that they could participate in the book drive. Number one, they could donate money. We will take money, yay. I gave them a ballpark of what it would take to sponsor one child, and we set that at $25. So they knew if they donated in an increment of $25, they knew how many kids they would sponsor. And that's important to people. I wouldn't make it big and outlandish, but I would make it small and concrete. So that was the first one, accepting donations. The second one, I shared the wish list in the Facebook event where they could see the books that were on the wish list, and then they could shop through the e-fair. And if they chose ship with the organization for those books, then the shipping was free. And then this is the brilliant part. And I put it on the graphic, and I learned this from Carrie. So I put on the graphic, shop off the wish list, place your order, choose ship with organization, it ships free to them. Then step 2 is to go back to the website, shop through the e-fair, but shop for your family. Buy books for upcoming birthdays, for Christmas, etc., etc. And I'll let them know when you shop, that still is helping the book drive, because Usborne matches 50% the purchases for the book drive, even if they're personal purchases for your family. And that's because it's set up as an e-fair, which is a book fair. So, and I actually had people participate in all three ways. I had some people just donate money. I had some people just shop off the wish list. And then I had other people who shop for their family through the e-fair and had it shipped to them. So yes, they had to pay shipping, but still their purchases counted towards the total sales of the book fair. So it ended up being $600 in either purchases or donations. So $600, and some of that was even donations. So I got to shop from that, but then Usborne matched it with a 50% because it was a book fair, so they got an additional $300 too in free books. So it was amazing. So I really, really liked giving people those three options because there were some people in the event that were Usborne junkies. They loved the books, and so they just bought books for their family, knowing that it would contribute to the overall book drive. So when you're setting it up, I would encourage you to give those three options as for your book drive, because that will help. And then I made a graphic that I kept updating in the event every time we would get enough books purchased or donated to sponsor one child. I used little pencils, and I changed the color of the pencil. So every time one child got sponsored, the pencil changed from yellow to purple. So it's cool to update it to let people see that. So during the 5 days that I had it open, we started on Monday. I closed it at noon on Friday. So really Monday through Wednesday, I did post explain the books. I posted a link to an online catalog. So then when Thursday morning arrived, I said, okay, now is the time to donate. So basically I had a push for 36 hours for people to donate and shop. And that is what I would encourage you to do. Don't leave it open forever. Like I talked about, people will forget, they won't come back. But if they feel that urgency, they'll do it then, and they'll be on it. So 100% of the orders and the donations that we received were received on Thursday or Friday before noon. So that's kind of how I mapped out the timeline for that. So I hope that's helpful as you are gearing up for a book drive, and I'm excited about the opportunity that you will have to bless others with Usborne books through a book drive. Thanks so much.